Good morning, everybody. Jack Leeson with StartupTrading.com. It is the first trading day of the month, the shortest month of the year, and it's probably going to be pretty interesting trading days. Or trading month. We're kicking it off with some tariffs start the month, and although as Perry was saying, the markets thinks they're coming up, thinks they're coming off. I don't think they're coming off, but what do I know? The market knows more. We've been inside of this extension from September 11th for quite some time, and if this continues to hold, we've had multiple tests here, and with each new test, I get a little more concerned that we're eventually going to trade a deeper pullback, and maybe that eventual deeper pullback is those summer lows from August to highs. I would not be surprised whatsoever to see that trade by the end of the March contract, especially if we can start cracking this September 11th anchor. But right now, that's my discount and premium levels are way above and way below. Yesterday's action really doesn't do a whole lot. Oftentimes we go into the market looking at the prior day's pattern, looking for continuations, whether it's extensions, next traditionals, things of that sort. Um, but we have such a large gap here today. I don't know if any of the prior day's information is going to be useful, at least off the open. The only draw I have is the full halfway back short from what is Friday's high to that overnight low here in the Nasdaq, and that's going to be at 21,454. So 21,454 is the only actual level. Other than that, you had that September 11th extension below us, which we'd need to take out overnight lows, or if we got back into the traditional of this entire range, that's quite a bit above us. It would also be a gap fill. I don't think that's happening today, but that's why really the title of the video is just looking for entry signals based on intraday price action, things like swing marks, leg starts, all of my indicators, basically using them in fair value gaps or single prints. So what I'm going to be looking for here today, so let's say we come out of low. I'm just going to give you an example of the overnight session. I will be looking for on the 5-minute chart fair value gaps, either coming out of lows or highs, and then seeing if I can figure out if there is a pattern in that. So you can see on lows of the day, we have this push down here, and that's a single print slash fair value gap, whatever you want to call it, and then we get back above. So we inverse it. We instantly begin a traditional. That traditional runs to targets. We have the next measured move. That traditional ends up running to targets. Hold on one second. Here you go. And then we blow through that and then go into an extension. So, oops. We now are going into the day from the 1 o'clock high to high inside of this extension. So we can continue to pay attention to this from the intraday action here. This extension has had multiple tests, but as we go into the open, it's not something I want to take. We traded it at 4 o'clock. We traded it at 5 o'clock. We traded it at 7 o'clock. I'm not going to take it again here. It's just a fourth test. It's not ideal for my trade setup, but what we can do is we can pay attention to those profit targets. If we get up at those profit targets, and then let's say we have um, you know, a, a fair value gap, or if we have put in one of these trend bars. So these trend bars are going to be given, look out, if anytime I see a trend bar here, I'm going to analyze it. So like you see, we had one at 340. I'll be like, okay, what's the pattern here? It's a short trend bar. You can see, although I actually might run a target. We have this traditional short that is a little sloppy, but it runs the target. So I'm going to be looking for those types of price action signals here today, as opposed to continuing any prior day price action over into the day, which I really just can't, justify any continuation pattern from the prior day because it's just such a big move. The only thing I would really look at is I'd have to go back and look at the extension sequence and then use it only as of regular trading hours. I'm not even sure where because I didn't trade Friday, so I'm not even sure. So we had a traditional out of highs into an extension from, I believe, the 1205 anchor that traded here, here, here again. So the only thing I'd really actually draw is once we RTH open the regular trading hours, an extension from 245. Um, but right now, like I said, I'll be calling these out in the room as I see them. So for example, we have this extension. You put in a single print and a trend bar, and then we come back down and retest that support, trade zone. So we're just going to have to let those trade zones and entry signals develop as the day progresses. And I'll be calling them out as they do. For the ES here, guys, we haven't fallen as far as the NASDAQ. Interesting enough, the ES's extension is traded basically to the tick. It's 38% retracement here. So, if this trade war, whatever, is resolved like the market anticipates, let's remember where those upside targets are at 63.04. We've traded at 50% multiple times here, and coming out of those lows, let's take a look at that 5-minute time frame. Coming out of those lows, what do we have? We have ATR bars up. Once again, signals ATR bar up. First traditional runs the target. Anyway, we come into a retest. Inverse single, traditionals. Okay, traditional. Oops. And then I believe we came full halfway back from that overnight low to high. And while the NASDAQ was inside of extensions, the ES was inside traditional. And as we open up the day, we're going to be at that. So just keep in mind where that 38 is down there. If we get to the extremes, I'll be looking for, once again, those price action patterns that I'm referring to. But right now, I don't have any of those. Going to have to just see what the market's doing. I'll be calling them out while they happen in the room. So keep your volume on, and we'll just take it as the day goes. But I'll share these levels with you guys in the room. Probably gonna have a volatile week. I don't think there's any rush to get in anything. Wait for a sweet spot and then hit it.